How you doing today, Jamie? We got some wildness in yields today. It came out of nowhere. Do you know what sparked it?
Not really. My guess is just looking at the way gold is trading, the way yields are backed up, the way dollar yen has risen, is I think risk aversion trades are being unwound despite the fact that risks are rising. You've gotten sort of a quasi invasion of Ukraine, but you don't get any of the expected market reaction. So I think if you've got those positions on, you got to take them off. So I think that's one reason why gold dumped. I think it's why yields are backing up. I think it's one of the reasons why dollar yen is up. One of a number of reasons why dollar yen is up.
Yeah, dollar yen's beginning to exceed my expectations to the upside, and it sure took a lot of U.S. dollar yen's strength, yen weakness for yields to finally recognize it.
Yeah.
So where do we go? It looks like we're going to challenge last year's high in the end from here, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, I guess that kind of 105, 45, 50 area is where we topped out right at the very beginning of January. It looks like that's the next stop. I think that's going to be a difficult hurdle. I mean, there will be big optionality up at 105.50. So I think if you've got a good sized position, you might want to take some profits and look for some consolidation, maybe improve the average a little bit. But if it breaks it with ease, then there's nothing really up there to 110 and change. Very, very difficult for me in this environment to think that's the way we're going. I would think the risk aversion trade should come back into vogue at some point, but it's clearly not working. Would you consider
the long side of Euro Aussie a risk aversion trade? Other people have told me there's a negative correlation to the S&Ps. And seems to be saying that today.
That traditionally, yes, but given given what's going on in the Eurozone, the odds of further ECB action, I think you might want to be a little careful with that one. Yes, just look from a technical perspective and from a historical perspective, okay. Yes. From just in this particular environment, I would be a little bit nervous.
Okay, so a lot of red numbers, a lot of red stuff happening this week. What do you think is going to be the key? Draghi's press conference?
I do. I think he's got to act in some form or fashion. I don't think it's going to be, an announcement of full-fledged QE. Though, as I've been saying probably for a week or so now, I think he's going to take a step towards QE by doing what he did with ABS, saying, "Oh, we're studying it. And we're going to look at the legal ramifications and how, we can work around the legal restrictions on financing governments. Perhaps they can make certain adjustments. They'll buy bonds in countries that haven't been bailed out, not in others. Things along those lines. I think he can take steps to lay the groundwork for QE and stopping well short." Very much like he did with OMT, the anything it takes program that they put in place about 2 years ago. This time, they never pulled the trigger on it, but they said, "Oh yes, we're designing this program," and
I lose you. You with me?
Drag on for months, but it allows him to say that he's done something. There might be a slight rate cut. They're at 15 basis points on the refi rate. They could cut it to 5 or 10 basis points. I don't think that's going to really make a whole heck of a lot of difference. But he can, again, it can point to we've taken action.
I know you've been favoring the short side of Euro Pound on a relative strength basis. Pretty nice rally here today. View the same. Is this a shorting opportunity?
It's a little bit early. I think you've got these referendum fears in Scotland. That referendum's in just over 2 weeks. So I still like it to the short side below like 80.5. But I think we could get a little bit of a shakeout here. I think that's one of the reasons why Euro dollar has held up reasonably well today. Cable's gotten hit pretty hard. Euro yen has bounced pretty nicely. I think so. The vagaries of what's going on in the UK are hitting the pound. And
so maybe we have a rally back to 80.50 for an entry on the short side.
I think you got a much better shot at those levels than you do. I think you're kind of in no man's land right here. The 79.65 area is kind of the first resistance level. I wouldn't think of doing anything until we get close to there. Yeah, it's going to be a rocky 2 weeks in euro sterling. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think there might be, that's a
favorite trade of
that's a long-term trend that's it seems like
favorite trade of the month.
Favorite trade of the month. Geez, I guess just on a technical level, a technical basis, I think you would have to say dollar yen. If QE comes about again, as most people are anticipating, if the next round of sales tax hikes are postponed as is being proposed, then I think you could have a very nice rally in dollar yen. For the next 4 to 6 weeks. 105.5 is going to be is going to be the sticking point. I look technically to me, there's not much to 110. So it's hard. I don't see anything in between, to be perfectly honest. I mean, there are probably some Fibonacci projections and things you can do, but there's nothing glaring on the charts that sticks out till above 110. Okay. So that puts you back at 2008
levels.
That's
a great call. Thank you very much, Jamie. Good luck this week, buddy. Talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you. You too.